In sacrifice, there is no mileage. You just did it. Period. You did it for a purpose. You did it for that purpose, and I am happy that I did it.
We learn about life through questions.
How do we tame this mind?
Is that person more equipped?
How does one know that now this is going beyond my control?
How much of a role does education play?
What causes this lack of concentration?
To answer some of these, Mr. Praveen Mankar, founder of Pratibimb Charitable Trust, brings to you Face to Face. This week we are talking about sacrifice.
The focus is always on what I want. We are unwilling to sacrifice anything for anyone for the sake of our own comfort. Today, we'll understand what is sacrifice and why is it so important. So, what do you mean by sacrificing something?
In simple language, sacrificing is giving up.
Then why is sacrifice so important? Why should I give up something?
Why should you give up something is very valid a question. Why should you give up? Why does a mother give up her sleep, her food for the sake of children?
Love? Affection?
There you are. Sacrifice can only happen out of love. Sacrifice can only happen out of a sense of duty. A mother has a sense of duty. That my child, I must give all possible facilities for my child to grow up well, and therefore the mother sacrifices. A citizen sacrifices his life for his motherland, for his country, sense of duty. So there is a purpose behind sacrifice. Without a purpose, a sacrifice doesn't happen.
So the purpose, okay, we spoke about love and the affection here, but in other cases, what is the benefit of sacrificing? I mean, I don't want to sacrifice.
Don't sacrifice. Nobody forces you to sacrifice.
But what is the benefit if I give up something?
Benefit is situational.
How?
I sacrifice a job offer so that my friend gets the same job. My friend needs that job more than I need because he doesn't have any source of income. At least I have my current job. So I sacrifice a possible promotion increment for the sake of my friend. It gives me satisfaction that I have helped my friend sustain in life. So the benefit is situational. It's how you perceive what is your benefit. Why should you sacrifice? I sacrifice because this is what I want. Sometimes it is notional. It is only mental satisfaction. There is no tangible benefit. So it is situational. I mean, you can't dictate to somebody that you sacrifice.
Can love exist without sacrifice?
Sure. There is no need to sacrifice. I have everything in abundance. Everybody has everything in abundance and we love each other. Where is the need to sacrifice?
So when do you know I should make a sacrifice?
It's not an intellectual subject. It's an emotional subject. The minute you start intellectualizing sacrifice, you are doing it for the sake of show. You don't feel it. You should feel like sacrificing. If when you start answering questions like when should I sacrifice, where should I sacrifice, who should I sacrifice, all these questions arise in the conscious mind. Conscious mind is not the seat of emotions. Conscious mind is the seat of reasoning, calculations, decision making. You should feel it. The common man understands head versus heart. If you are taking a decision by the head, there is no heart in it. So there is no sacrifice. Sacrifice is done with the heart. I sacrifice something I wanted so that somebody else benefits.
But this is how we usually are, right? We analyze the pros and cons of the situation and then you say, okay, this is what I should do.
Why are you stuck on this subject of sacrifice? What's the genesis of this subject?
Because I focus on my own comfort, right?
Okay.
And sometimes in a family when you're living, one person wants something, maybe you want something else. But you don't always get it your way.
Right.
Somebody always wins.
Right.
You could be that person or you'll be willing to let go and make other people happy.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So the importance of sacrifice in a family is not there.
Okay, since you brought up
me
your
and
subject about yourself, and let's say You have a sister, let's imagine you have a sister and you want a particular dress and your sister wants the same dress, right? But at the moment your parents can afford only one dress. The economic condition is such that your parents can say either you have it or she has it. No, I want it. You can buy her later on, is one approach. The other approach is, okay, let her have it, I will wait for my turn. So you have sacrificed your desire to own a new dress so that your sister gets the new dress. Okay? Do you feel good about it?
It depends.
So if you
How
don't,
badly did I want
if
that?
you don't feel good about it, then it is not a sacrifice. Then it is a compulsion. माँ को बुरा लगा इसलिए मैंने वो एग्री किया, पिताजी ने डांटा इसलिए मैंने एग्री किया. That means you don't feel like letting your sister have the dress. You wanted it badly and you don't want to give it.
It was a compromise.
Well, it's a reluctant compromise. It's a reluctant compromise. It's not a happy compromise. Many people compromise happily. हाँ तू थोड़ा ले मैं थोड़ा लेता हूँ. It's a happy compromise. I'm accepting that you will benefit some, I'll benefit some. Win-win situation. But here you are forced to compromise. It's not a happy compromise. That's not a sacrifice. Sacrifice is you feel happy about, okay, let my sister have it. I will wait my turn. And I don't feel bad about it. That is a happy sacrifice.
So, okay. So you're saying sacrifice should give you happiness. It's
Yes.
not actually giving up something.
You're not giving up anything.
No.
What do you give up? What can you give up? Nothing belongs to you. Even your body doesn't belong to you. What can you give up? What are you giving up? It's a notion that you're giving up something.
Yes.
And for that notion, you're holding on. You're holding on to emptiness.
But whenever we take decision, we say, I'm sacrificing my time for you, I'm sacrificing my money for you.
That is self-glorification.
we say that.
You're glorifying yourself. You're not actually doing anything. When you do things for somebody, you don't say it. You do it silently. You go to a temple for somebody's good health and you come and tell the person, I went to the temple to pray for you. The whole subject is defeated. You really pray for that somebody's health, you do it quietly. You don't have to beat your own drum.
So sacrifice, you're saying, is unconditional, has
Absolutely.
no terms.
The whole word sacrifice means I am giving without expectation. That's sacrifice.
But it's also, like you rightly said, when I sacrifice something, I want to express it to the world and say, listen, this is what I do.
Why should you?
You
want recognition. So you are taking a price for your sacrifice. Then it's not a sacrifice, it's a barter.
Yeah.
It's a trade. You traded what you wanted for a recognition from people around you.
Okay.
Then it's not a sacrifice. I sacrificed. It doesn't matter whether people know about it, people don't know about it, people appreciate it, people don't appreciate it. It's okay. I did it for my joy and I got joy in doing that sacrifice. That is sacrifice.
Okay.
I sacrificed my life for the country.
Yes.
I didn't want my statue to be erected. That was not behind my mind when I did that sacrifice. Look at Bhagat Singh, when he sacrificed his life for the country. Did he ever think that he will be considered as a freedom fighter and a hero? No. At that point of time, that must be the last thought on his mind, if at all that thought were to exist. He had a purpose. My country should be free. If it means my life is gone, so be it. How many people recognize me, how many people acknowledge me is not my concern. My concern is my purpose. And that purpose gives me joy. So whatever you sacrifice, does it have a purpose and does it give you joy? These are the only two important questions to answer in a sacrifice. Nothing else matters.
Very true. I think this word has a lot of misnomer attached to it. Nobody understands what is sacrifice. My parents also keep giving examples, right? I sacrificed my childhood to do something else. They give up a lot of things. They call it sacrifice.
You are compelled to do things is not sacrifice. You do it voluntarily, that is sacrifice. In partition, Indians were compelled to leave their homeland and come to migrate to India. You simply were forced to do certain things. That's not sacrifice. Sacrifice is a voluntary activity.
no terms and conditions, and it should give you joy.
You should get joy out of it. Was there joy in the partition? There was no joy. People reluctantly came, crying, beating their chests, losing everything. Where is the sacrifice in that? Sacrifice has an element of purpose. Sacrifice has an element of joy. If you really want to define sacrifice, there is a purpose behind my action and there is a joy I derive out of that action.
Absolutely. That's very nicely put. What do you mean by sacrifice? So, in order for a person to sacrifice, because not everybody is able to do it or willing to do it,
Yeah.
you need to have certain traits to sacrifice something. So, what is that, to reach that stage, that you do something without expecting anything in return? How do you?
That's very simple. Just learn give and take. Just learn give. Law of giving. When you accept that giving is a law, then sacrifice is not difficult. Once you accept giving is part and parcel of living, giving is part and parcel of living. Once you understand this, sacrifice is not difficult. Then there are degrees of sacrifice. The ultimate being you sacrifice your life for somebody.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, people devote their entire life
Yeah.
to something. That's a sacrifice.
And they get joy out of it. They don't mope around. Oh, I had to give up my studies so that my brother could study. And then you go on through life with a long face. Otherwise, I would have been a doctor. But because I had to work to finance my brother's studies, I had to give up my ambition. Then you have not sacrificed. You were compelled to do and you are taking mileage out of it. In sacrifice, there is no mileage. You just did it. Period. You did it for a purpose. Your brother wanted to be educated. You did it for that purpose and I am happy that I did it. Finished. I don't have to go and claim that. I don't need accolades for that. I don't need recognition for that. I just did it.
So, the first step to make a sacrifice is start giving.
Yes, absolutely. Learn to give. Why are you doing it? You are doing it because you are achieving a purpose and you are deriving joy out of that purpose. Therefore, you are sacrificing.
Okay. Sacrificing is giving up something for the greater good. It's a way of life. You have to start by giving. So the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice for?
If you have some questions about life, please connect with us. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon for weekly updates.